Yeah, I think we're live now. Okay. Yeah, I think I can I can start us off. Welcome everybody to our monthly speaker series. And today is a particular session for Earth Day, and have to uh, we're gonna have we're gonna have today Brother Samuel Yagase, who is a grassroots leader mobilizing rural communities for justice and dignity in the rainforest in the DRC. And throughout our session, we're gonna get to hear more about the work that Brother Yagase have been doing, and also have a couple of questions that Sister Patricia and I will be asking Brother Yagase. Yeah, I don't know if Sister Patricia, you have also anything to say to start off.
Yeah, sure. It'd be cool if we could take the opportunity to maybe introduce ourselves, and then we can. We'd like for Brother Yagase to introduce himself to us as well. But just to kick things off, hi everyone. My name is Patricia Dombe. I am currently based in Pennsylvania. I currently serve as the lead intern coordinator for Friends of the Congo. So we've been happy to have this monthly workshop series, which has formally kicked off at the start of the year, in which we've been able and we've been blessed with the opportunity to meet with um, local Congolese boots on the ground leaders, and also leaders within our organization, leaders connected to our organization, Friends of the Congos, and their passions and their areas of interest, and seeing how those things intersect in promoting Congolese agency, African agency, victorious consciousness, and things of that regard. So, pleasure to meet everybody.
Yeah, and I can also introduce myself. Yeah, hi again, hi everyone again. My name is Bukongo Sabwanda. I am currently based in Chicago, in Illinois, where I do some organizing on campus, and with Friends of the Congo, I'm also part of the inter-coordinating team, and yeah, and I'm also very excited to be here. So I'm gonna open up the space for Brother Samuel to also introduce himself, and also the work that he's been doing.
Yeah, thank you. I'm Samuel Yagase. I'm coming from the Democratic Republic of the Congo, living in Isangi, which is near Kisangani. Kisangani is the northeast of the DRC, not very far from Goma. It takes like 45 minutes. And I'm there. I've chosen to be there within the grassroots level to help the people see how we can raise the voice of the people from the grassroots. Why? Because in many gatherings, in many discussions and so on, they are being left out. So we are helping local people to be the master of their lives, to decide on their future. It's very important. They are able, they have critical knowledge, they have capacity. So and I think that the critical change from the Congo or from Africa will come from the masses, from the grassroots. And I'm also here as part of the Passenger Coalition. Gova is a member of the Passenger Coalition, and the Passenger Coalition is the coalition which is striving to give more space, more consideration, and promote the leadership from the grassroots in the Congo and the Congo forest, rainforest, the Congo Basin rainforest.
Thank you, Brother Yagase. We are extremely fortunate. We're extremely blessed to have you join us in this live. As you know by now, Brother Yagase, we can start kicking into the interesting questions that we have to ask of you. But as you know, we've been celebrating not only Earth Day taking place on April the 22nd, but we've also been dedicating April as a whole for the month as an opportunity to recognize and celebrate the key and the central role which Central African climate, weather, natural resources, particularly those of the Congo, the ways in which those upkeep, maintain, benefit, and edify not only the ecological and the eco-spiritual atmosphere of Central Africa, and not only of the continent, but of the entire world in that upkeep. And so, in your opinion, I wanted to ask you, what have you witnessed? What do you see as some of the issues and some of the effects of warring, which is currently taking place in the DRC? How do you see these negative effects manifesting into the degradation of the ecological atmosphere and the natural resources of the Congo?
Oh, thank you for your beautiful question. I think there is a lot we can say about that. Of course, everyone is talking about Congo as very important and having many solutions for the world about the forest, about the critical minerals, especially in Katanga and the Lualaba province. All this is great, but when you go there, like in Lualaba province, and you see the degradation of the soil, and you see how the people are really being pushed out of their natural lands because of those minerals, because they have to be taken by corporations from China, from I don't know, US or UK or France. So it's it's so frustrating for us, as the local people living there, to see that maybe the priority is getting the minerals. The priority is getting maybe billions of US dollars, but there is no priority for saving the planet, saving the environment, saving the forest and the rivers and the biodiversity. There is almost no respect for the local people. They have been there for centuries, and to me, that from my experience, that they are the best protectors of our environment. Unfortunately, the capital is the priority is money and nothing else. So it's really very, very sad. That's the where you can find the mine. Other places of everyone is talking about protecting the forest, but there are lots, companies for the timber companies continuing to cut trees every day, every year, and to ship them to Europe. So it's a little bit frustrating. You see the discourse, people are talking, even taking, good recommendations in bracket. I put it in bracket. But when you see what they're doing practically, concretely, is the opposite of what they're saying. So yeah, that's why yes, the Passenger Coalition is there instead of relying on corporations or politicians and so on. We do think, we as local people, we do think that the priority for those people is money, their interest. That's all. And then we say, okay, let us start reorganizing ourselves and to see how we can protect our environment or our area and take responsibility for our future.
Mm-hmm. Thank you very much, Brother Samuel, for that. And I think maybe connecting as well to what you said about the importance of or the role of local communities to actually take to be at the forefront of their of the struggle for protect the rainforest. I wanted to ask more like it's kind of a double double question. The first part, just kind of if you can talk a little bit more about the agricultural community initiative that your organization GOVA has been engaged in, or in another way, like how GOVA is encouraged and promote like a Congolese agency through those agricultural efforts. And the second side of that question is also then how, if you can also talk a little bit about the timeline for the Bassanja Coalition, how it came to form, and how or when also your organization GOVA joined the Bassanja Coalition. If you can touch on to that to see again, the effort that the local and grassroots organizers been doing.
Regarding the agriculture in the Congo, as you know, Congo has 62% of the total forest of the Congo Basin rainforest. 62%. Congo has 47%, almost half the total forest of the entire continent, the entire Africa. And Congo has the possibility of the potential to produce food for 2 billion people. Congo can produce food for the entire continent. Yeah. Unfortunately, when you go to Lubumbashi, to Kinshasa, a little bit less in Kisangani or Goma, 80% of the food in Kinshasa is imported. It comes from outside. Is it normal for us to get the food, to eat rice coming from India, China, or Thailand? So, we are encouraging people, to produce the food they are eating. That's our discourse. We need to produce. We have the capacity of producing even for the entire continent. We have no reason to rely on food coming from outside in the Congo. No reason. And I know we have our agriculture. I have honestly to recognize it. It has some weaknesses in terms of cut and slash, techniques, but we have already started, discussing with the peasant about that. How you can stay on the same land for years and produce different, different food, like you start producing rice, and then after that you change the crops. It will be maybe peanut or yam or bananas and so on. So we are already addressing those questions which are very important for the environment. Yeah. And also, even if our agriculture has some weaknesses, but we really need also to rely on the knowledge the local knowledge from the local people. They know a lot. They have herbs where if they take those herbs and they start planting in the new land, that herbs gives like it's keeping well the soil. It helps them to get more production. So they have that knowledge, they have that capacity, and it's a process. The most important thing that local people are very open, especially when it's concerning the issue relating to their future or for their lives and so on. They are open to participate, to listen. Unfortunately, the contrary is most of the time it's not possible. Nobody's ready to be. Nobody's ready to listen to local people. Local people are ready to listen, but nobody's ready to listen to them. Just because we have some stereotypes, I'm coming from Harvard University from the United States, the best university in the world, so I know everything. No, nobody knows everything. Nobody. And I always say that every day. It's not an error. It's a very big mistake. Neglecting local people. Those people, they know. I'm telling you, they know a lot. They really know a lot. And regarding the climate change, the way our planet is warming and so on, everyone is talking about protecting the forest, the rivers, and the biodiversity, but we can't make critical change without the involvement of local people. Those people, they don't speak English. They don't speak French. They don't speak Spanish. They don't speak all those, we call it international languages, but European languages and so on. They have their own language, but they have, knowledge doesn't mean, English doesn't mean knowledge. Spanish or French doesn't mean knowledge. You can speak French without having knowledge. So please, let us give them space. Let us give them a consideration. Let us listen to them. Let us even be really ready to learn from them. And the best protector in the earth of our environmental is the local people. They don't sell land. You can't see a village and say, okay, people around their chief to decide to sell like 500,000 acres. It doesn't exist. They don't sell land. They know the importance of land. Land is everything for them. Land is their shop. The forest is their shop. They don't have shop. They don't have a store. Land is like a pharmacy for them. Land, the forest gives us the energy, getting firewood, and the land is everything for them. So they understand the importance of the land more than anyone. Their lives is really tight. It's related to the land. Yeah. And if we think that they are there, they don't understand anything, no, it's a very big mistake. It's us who are not understanding and not them. And that's why Basanja is really striving to educate people, to let them know that, please, we made a big mistake. Let us go back to our local communities. Let us be ready to learn from them, and we really can save our planet. That's everywhere, not only in the Congo. local people in the Congo, in the Africa, in Brazil, in South Asia, where forests are. We need to work with all those people. That's my point of view.
Brother Yagase, I am so grateful for leaders, community leaders, and ambassadors such as yourself. And I just want to take a second to encourage, all of you all who may be watching, one of the ways in which we as individuals who we're in the African diaspora, we may identify culturally as African. One of the ways in which we can begin to expose ourselves to and learn more of these indigenous Congolese knowledges and life ways and pathways of the environment around them, the place, the central place, the role it has in their lives and how in our lives, how it is used, how it's harnessed spiritually, physically, and in other dimensions. One of the best ways to expose yourself to learn more about that knowledge is, just joining, organizations such as GOVA, such as Friends of the Congo, organizations which are giving platforms to these voices, to these ambassadors, to these leaders who are representing the community, the Congolese community at large in this manner. But Brother Yagase, I'm so, this is going to be a little bit of a double question as well, but I'm so interested to hear a few examples of indigenous Congolese knowledge about the various resources around them and how they understand their use and their purpose in their lives. And then in contrast, I'd love to hear your witness of foreign international bodies and polities vying for the natural resources of the Congo. Like what sorts of polities and political bodies outside of the Congo have you seen vying for what belongs to the Congo in the Congo?
Please, can you repeat the very first question?
My first question is like, what are some examples do you know of from the community in regards to their understanding of various natural resources and how they use them? Like, I want to know more about different examples of how we, as Congolese people, we know of how to, gather different resources, how to utilize them in a symbiotic manner, their purposes and things like that. So I'm just interested in learning more examples of that.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's some beautiful questions. I have to stress that knowledge is really there, and I think no, I don't want to challenge you, but we as Congolese, most of intellectuals, I put it in bracket, we are victims of our own complex. Yes, we say, okay, we are speaking, international languages. We have been, universities, I don't know, in France, in the US, in the UK, and then we consider ourselves as people who have knowledge. We have to start from there. We have knowledge, because I went to France, I went to Belgium, and I'm back with a very big diploma, very big like this. They said, okay, you are engineer in such or other subjects, I don't know. So this one, you know, and we say, okay, that's me. I am like that. And the other people in the village, in the community, they don't speak the language I'm speaking. They don't have the big diploma, big like this. They don't have it. So they don't know anything. It's not true. Let me give you just one example, very, very simple. I was living in Kisangani on a motorbike towards Isangi Road. And when you leave Kisangani and before reaching Isangi, you have to cross the river twice. I crossed the first time. And the second time, I had to cross the Congo River to reach Isangi. And the sun was there. The sun, it was a sunny day. And I was in a hurry. I said, okay, please, I want to cross the river. I don't have time to lose. Put my motorbike in the pirogue, in the small canoe, and then we cross the river. An old man of that village was just nearby. He said, please don't cross the river now. Don't you see the way I'm seeing you are seeing the sun. But I have seen two sorts of clouds, not fine. If you cross now, you are not going to spend 30 minutes in the river. You get a lot of waves. Don't cross now. And I said, no, Dad, we have the sun. I said, no. You see the sun. I see that sun, of course, but you don't see the cloud I'm seeing. I said, okay, at least he's there, he has been there for, I don't know, more than 80 years. He's an old man. And he knows the differences of the clouds and all this. So, okay, I have to wait. It didn't take, he told me about half an hour. It didn't take 30 minutes. And then everything was dark. And then, it was dark. And then the water, because of the wind, starts moving. And the big waves. He said, you see? maybe I had to lose my life that day. Who has capacity? Who has knowledge between the old man and myself? I was ignorant. And there is a lot of examples like that. From the song of the bird, the old man can tell you in 1 hour we are going to have a big rain. Because of the song of that bird. Or if it rains, he can tell you maybe in 45 minutes or at most 1 hour, the rain will stop. And the river will be calm. You can navigate. Yeah. Let me give you another example. Yeah, I'm here with Brother Maurice, a friend of the Congo. I made people laugh 2 days ago. So we were in San Francisco University. I told them, I don't wish it, but if I'm here, if anything bad happens to me, and I have my leg broken, where I am here in the US, please don't take me even to your best clinic of the United States. I don't need it. It will take time for nothing. What you can do, just put me in the plane to DC, and I cross the Atlantic Ocean back to Congo. And the day I reach Congo, call me after 14 days. My bones will be okay. That's from the traditional knowledge. So there are a lot of, it's complex. And the imperialists or the colonialists, to me, the most critical thing they took from us, the most important, it's not the mineral they stole. It's not the natural resources. The most important thing they took from us is to control our mind. And then we feel ourselves like inferior. We don't have capacity. We need to rely on, their so-called knowledge and so on. So our ancestors, they know nothing. It's diabolic because they're using herbs and so on. But even here, people are using herbs. Even in Europe, I saw. So I think we as Congolese, we as Africa, we need to fight that inferior complex. And diaspora or at home intellectual, we are still in that complex. And if we don't if we don't try our best to give it back, or to get out that complex, we will suffer for very, very long. And we can't trust ourselves, and it's dangerous. It's dangerous.
Brother,
I'm sorry, I've been giving a lot of examples.
No. I was about to say, you are speaking to my spirit and my soul right now, Brother Yagasa, because that's you mentioned that you mentioned the thing which a lot of us as Black scholars, especially in the diaspora, we have to consider when we are even beginning to approach trying to understand different things on the continent. It resonates so much with, my studies in Afrocentricity here in Philadelphia and Pennsylvania with Temple University, and just the push to just go back to the initial and to go back to the reclamation of how we as Africans understand and move throughout the world as Africans, and allowing those to inform and shape how we move throughout the world as Africans, instead of relying on other worldviews, other experiences, which have historically rendered us as inferior in our own heads. And I'm like, Brother Yagasa, that is Afrocentricity through and through. And you mentioned, if you've got a broken leg or something, don't even ship me to a hospital. Just take me back home. my own grandfather, he's transitioned now, but my own grandfather, I even remember his first few years here in my family, with my family, he had some issues with his pancreas come up. And not long after he returned back home, because my family, we stay in the old Bandundu province. Not long after he came back home, we stopped hearing all of this, grumbling and like me about his pancreas and all of these issues, which Western medication here, all of these different alternatives here that aren't spiritually compatible with our human being experience. That was like not long after he returned, all those issues gone. So I'm over the moon right now, but let me let you continue.
Yeah, I think we have. The struggle is there. We have to understand that we have a it's very huge. Even the education system in the Congo now, I think we have to, what they can say, to create another system, education system. Let me give you just one example. Okay, you are studying history. I want to become doctor in history, but in which history? So you want to learn about de Gaulle in France? De Gaulle was a hero during the Second World War, of course. How many students, how many Congolese students know about Lumumba? How many? How many students know about the struggle of Mulele? How many Congolese students know really about Gizenga? How many? Maybe pictures, yes, but in terms of the philosophy for which they fought, nothing. We say, okay, I'm doctor in history. I'm learning about the Bismarck, about King Leopold, about Washington, George Washington, who gave independence to this country. But nothing about, we have our own heroes. We don't have to learn about other heroes before ours, because they are going to remain like, the best example for the next generations. So we are showing our children like we have nothing, so we need to learn about Otto von Bismarck, about Napoleon, about George Washington, about Simon Bolivar. But I'm not against that. But we need to learn from our people, because we have Congolese who deserve to be learned, whose philosophy deserves to be learned. Lumumba, Simo Kimbangu, Kimpavita, Mulele, and so on. So we are denying ourselves. It's some very, I don't know. I think I always say poverty is not the issue of just lacking money. Poverty doesn't do just with money. And the biggest and the most critical poverty is in our heads. If we are poor in our heads, we can have billions of US dollars in terms of mines. We're not going to see no impact, because we are poor in our head. We don't trust in ourselves. We think that the history we have to learn to teach our children or students must come from Europe, from United States, or from Japan. So we as Basanja, let me tell you where I am in Tolau, that's Istangi territory in Chok province. The elders of the village are going to the class, to talk to the children about traditional values. So they don't have trousers or t-shirt. They are in traditional, what can I say? The way they put their traditional their things, they go to the class, they teach, and for us, they say, "Oh, Simon, what are you doing? Why do you think they can't go to the class to teach our children? Why? It's complex. To me, my thinking is simple. You are intellectual. You're studying here in the US. That if you say that the traditional leader don't have to go to the class to communicate or to transmit values to the next generation or to the students and so on, I can ask you one question. The very first man who created the very first university in the world, the very first man who created the very first university in the world, did he go to university himself? No, he didn't. He didn't go because there was no university at that time. But he created something and they called it university. But he got knowledge or information from the community, from his wisdom, and so on. We have wisdom. Why are we neglected it? Why? That's complex. And we have to work at a different time. I think the very first people to teach in the Congo, it's I put it in bracket, intellectual. Sometimes we are lost, more lost than peasants.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Thank you so much, brother Samir. You really connect to a lot, and I think especially like the aspect about humility that you mentioned about when we engage with indigenous knowledge to come with the understanding that we don't know a lot, we don't know anything. I think it's also even like what Malian like elder says, like we come with saying that I acknowledge that I don't know anything because all that knowledge that indigenous people know, it's so vast and so complex. But also, as you mentioned, we need to also encourage those spaces where there's this transmission between the elders and the younger generation. And even if our education system do not create that space, it's really glad that there's the effort like from the Basanja Coalition, other elders in the community to understand the need to transmit those knowledge to younger generation, because this knowledge will be the one which will gonna liberate our minds, so we can actually be more able to transform our.
I love what you're saying. We need to liberate our minds. I love it. I really love it. Yeah.
True. Yeah, I guess the question that I would like to connect on is to look a little bit more about like a practical step to take, and I want to ask if you can maybe discuss about like what's some sort of like practical steps that Congolese people and also people also in the diaspora can take to give support to like to those community efforts and grassroots efforts. What are the in addition to, of course, learning and understanding all that like that the grassroots organizer and local people are the one who knows all the things. In addition to know that, what are the other forms and other ways they can give support to organization and coalition like the Basanja coalition, and as well as to have them like to resolve the issue and challenges that they face as they're carrying out their work.
That's a very, very critical questions. One day I was in Kinshasa. I attended a meeting with international donors and Congolese government agencies and some local NGOs. So we were talking about um, international donors, their perception, and local organizations. They say, no, it's very difficult, to give support to local people. They don't have capacity. They don't have experience. They are not used to big money and so on and so on. I asked for the micro. I say, please, all of you here, you are wrong. You are totally wrong. You are donors. It's a very big mistake. I think the very first mistake is to consider local people just as the beneficiaries of what you are doing. That's the big mistake. They are not only beneficiaries of what you are doing, but also critical partners. That's one. Two, if they are partners, they have capacity. And I know that we have capacity. Let me challenge you. Take 20,000, like 20 million US, 20 US, 20 million US dollars. Give to a big international NGOs. Take just 1 million of US dollars, give to local NGOs. Go after 2 years to look for impact. You will find that the local organization with just 1 million will produce more impact than the big NGOs with 20 millions. Why? Because, as you know, everybody's talking about the Congo basin. We need to support that forest and so on. And people are mobilizing, are giving a lot of money. The sad reality is it's only 1% of the total of money which reaches the communities. That's the reality. You have to know as donors, you have to know as the government agencies. What is that money? What is to go? What's to go? Because money, according to my understanding, money is going to big hotels. Money is going to big salaries. Money is going to big cars for specialists, for experts. Experts according to you, but not according to us. Because we have experts in our communities. They are there. We need to change the paradigm. We need to change the paradigm. We need to fight for it. It's a joke. I think we need to stop that joke. People at the community level have capacity. There is transparency. You give me your money. I have to show my community that I received 100,000 US dollars from each person for this, that, and so on, so that everyone, and in Bassanja and in Gova especially, accountability is at two levels. Not only towards accountability towards the person or the organization which give us money, but accountability towards the community. Because the money is not given to Bassanja. The money is not going to be given to Gova or to Bassanja or to Yole. The money is going to be given to the community. And the community has the right to know and to monitor everything. That's our way of encouraging, because if you are working for me and you don't show me what you are doing, it's a very big mistake, and I can't trust you. And if there is no trust between us, we can't build together. And most of the time, it happens things like that. Big NGOs, big corporations, or what, they come in with a lot of money. Nobody knows what is under the table. I told it, and everybody was like, wow. But it's their game. We have to have our own game. Transparency and relying on one another. And the Passenger Coalition. I don't know if I told you why we created Passenger Coalition. I think 2 days ago. No. Yeah, we started on 2022. They organized a very big meeting, a pre-COP meeting in Yangambi, just before the COP27 happening in Sharm el-Sheikh in Egypt, to protect the Yangambi forest. They invited experts, in brackets, from different universities in the world. They invited Congolese officials, and nobody from the grassroots. We sent even journalists to cover the issue. They say, no, you have to go back. It's for specialists, for experts. So there is no room for community journalists. It's a shame. How can you pretend to protect the forest, the river, without the real involvement of people living under trees? How? Or along the rivers? So I think we can't continue to accept those things. Say we have to take responsibility from the grassroots and do things the way we think is the best way. Yeah. And I'm not saying it because Maurice is here. No. I do respect Congo, a friend of the Congo. I do respect friend of the Congo. I'm saying it on behalf of the community. I'm saying it on behalf of our ancestors. Because friends of the Congo don't impose us anything. The plan is made locally, and friend of the Congo see how he can just give support. He can give an advice, but not impose. But most of big NGOs, they come in with money, of course. We want you to do this and that and that and that. After 3 years, you give the report. No, that's your project. That's not the community project. So we need to really change the things and trust. Trust is the most important thing between two persons, between two groups, between two communities, between. Trust. If you don't trust me, please, even if you can come with your expert to do things in my area, I'm not going to cooperate. You don't trust me. Yeah. And if you trust me, be ready to hear your weaknesses from me.
True.
Hear about another way of doing things. So please, I think the has a critical role to play. I can't hesitate, as I said, I'm not there. I can't hesitate to recommend a support to, because Friend of the Congo doesn't impose us anything. The major decisions are taken at the community level. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Thank you so much. I think that was a very good connection there, and to invite people to feel more solidarity and not to have like this idea of charity and having more solidarity, because otherwise we turn just like mercenaries, as you mentioned, where they don't care about the community but they still get all the money. So I think thank you very much.
You are most welcome. You are most welcome.
Yeah, I'm gonna pass it to Sister Patricia to wrap up.
I also want to thank you, Brother Yagase, on behalf of all of us, Friends of the Congo, our audience. I'm speaking for them. We want to thank you for just all the wisdom, the insight, the knowledge, and the charge that you've given to us to move forward as well. We've had the opportunity to tackle a lot of things, and we have pathways to move forward. So I want to thank you for that. Do you have any last remarks, anything final you want to say to all of us before we wrap things up?
Yeah, there may be two things quickly. First of all, to thank you very much from the bottom of my heart on behalf of my communities for your interest in the Congo. I think the entire world needs a stable Congo. Yeah, a stable Congo, not only for Congolese, for Africans, but for the entire world. One, two, let us build a new model. Let us start a new paradigm. Let us start a new narrative.
Yes.
Local people, with the grassroots organization, we are going to make a critical change. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for empowering us, Brother Yagase. Please enjoy the rest of your day, the rest of your time touring here in the U.S. For those watching, for those streaming, thanks for joining us. And we all hope that you have a wonderful rest of your day, the wonderful rest of your week, the rest of your month, and continue to move forward in power and in liberation. All right.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Yeah.